everyone, and welcome to the regular meeting of Vesuvius Town Council, Monday, February the 1st, 2016 at 2 p.m. in Council Chambers. And I'd just like to point out before we start that Councillor Rhodes is on the phone and is joining the meeting from Yuma, where he's sitting in the sun under the palm trees. And we are very happy to have Val Johnson here again today doing our Eastlink. We missed you at the last meeting, Val, and we're happy to see you here today. And we have Tim sitting at the back, and he's from Eastlink. He looks after the TV part of it, and they're here working together. So thank you for coming. We appreciate it. We're going to do the adoption of some minutes first. The Committee of the Whole meeting minutes of January the 18th, 2016. The regular open minutes of January the 18th, 2016. And the special open meeting of January the 18th, 2016. And could I have, thank you, Councillor Campbell, Councillor King, all in favor of adopting those minutes. Thank you.
In favor.
Thank you, Councillor Rhodes. Business arising from prior minutes, and you'll have to excuse me if we have a couple of things that are mixed up here because we've had some things added on lately, just since this morning. So I'm going to read this. This is an in-camera motion from this morning, not. Am I correct? It was from today, not says January the 18th on here, but that's wrong. Okay. An in-camera motion from February the 1st, and it was moved by Councillor Campbell, seconded by Councillor King, that Council direct administration to write a letter to School District 53 outlining their concerns with the short notice of the impending school closure, and that Council lobby the provincial government to find a solution other than closing one of the two schools, and that Council arrange a face-to-face meeting with the Minister of Education, and that would include members of Council and members of the public, and that Council lobby communities that are within the School District 53 jurisdiction to seek out interest in providing supportive municipal funding, and that Council work with local organized parent groups to seek alternative solutions other than closing one of the two schools. And that was carried. That was a long discussion that we had this morning. I need a motion to accept that. Thank you, Councillor King, Councillor Campbell. I'd just like to point out two more things that had just occurred to me, and we were talking about meeting the Minister of Education. I have a meeting next week, an RDOS meeting, where I already told them about the concerns because the whole district really is involved, including Penticton and Summerland. And our new MP, Dick Cannings, will be at the meeting next week, and I've asked to have discussion about this on the agenda. So just so that you know, the more people that know and understand the situation, the better. Now, we are introduction of late items. Is that where we're at? Okay. The first item under introduction of late items is the proposed travel rebate incentive program for American tourists. Mr. Romanko, did you want to speak on that? Or I don't have it right in front of me. Do you want me to?
Aren't you just?
Are we just going to say that we've discussed it this morning?
Actually, I thought you were going to add it to the list at the end.
To the agenda.
Oh, we're just adding it to the agenda now. Pardon me. Okay. We are also adding to the agenda the update on the. Sorry, do I need to have that?
Separate motion.
Okay, separate motion. So we need a motion to add the travel rebate incentive to the agenda.
That'd be number 5?
It's introduction of late items number 1.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Is it going to?
It'll go down to the.
It'd go under business number 5, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go to business. Okay, fair enough. It's there. update to the existing snow, sorry, you need to have, we need to vote on that motion. Councillor Rhodes, you okay with that?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so that's carried. Next, introduction is the proposed updates to the existing snow and ice control policy, and that will be
Number 6.
number 6. I've got number 7. Okay, those two are wrong. All right, thank you. And we need King, Campbell. All in favor? Thank you.
In
And
favor?
okay, thank you. And to move the Water District and Regulations Amendment Bylaw from bylaws to water matters. Is that correct? Okay. Campbell, King, thank you. That's carried. And that's it? Or are we moving the other one up too?
Water district rates and regulations.
The water rates.
Water,
Oh, water rates, yes.
One is the water district rates, one's the water rates.
The water
so Water Rates and Regulations Amendment, and we're moving that up underneath water matters. Thank you. Campbell, King, all in favor. Thank you.
In favor?
Thank you. So, we've got those all done, all right, and we need to, we don't have any delegations? No. So we're now on to water matters, am I correct? Okay. Sorry, we've added and subtracted things on here, I just got to make sure that we're doing this correctly. So, water matters, that would be, is that Mr. Zackel?
That's correct.
Good, thank you.
So before council is the Water District's Rates and Regulations Amendment Bylaw 1241.08, 2016. The town of Osceola operates the rural water system under the Water District Rates and Regulations Bylaw 1241. Each year the town's bylaws are reviewed, and when changes are required, they're brought forward as an amending bylaw to update the content and or the fees and charges. Schedule A, B, and E have been amended to reflect a $20 increase to water user fees for domestic use, with a 5.49% increase to the other water district user fees and a 2% increase to the parcel irrigation fees. The 2016 rate for domestic use is $384. As a comparison, the town of Oliver's 2016 residential rate is $381. The proposed water district rates were discussed at the December 18th, 2015 budget meeting with council direction to bring the bylaw forward. The increase in rates is expected to raise an additional $18,100 in revenue. Funding available for all water capital projects are $448,135, and this is down from $559,950 in 2015. The 2016 water capital projects include 74th Avenue Fire Hall Offsite Services, Richter Subdivision, Well 4 Flow Meter and Discharge Piping Upgrade, Station 8 Electrical Upgrades, Irrigation Supply Well in Gyro Park, Water Supply Main in Gyro Park to Holiday Inn, and Rural Water Twinning. Implications for community: improved water infrastructure, improved water quality. Organizational, no changes required. Budget, increased revenues will assist with water capital projects. Significant dates: bylaw needs to be adopted prior to the financial plan being adopted. Sustainability: continued effort for protecting the environment, reduction of the carbon footprint, and financial sustainability, and ensuring the proper use of water supply. See options before council to give first three readings to Water District's Rates and Regulations Amendment Bylaw 1241.08, 2016. Option 2 to further amend Bylaw 1241.08 and give first three readings. And Option 3 to leave Bylaw 1241.07 as is for 2016. And staff's recommendation for council is option number 1.
Thank you, Mr. Zackel. Is council?
Move option number 1.
Thank you. That's moved by Councillor Morera, seconded by Councillor Ray. Is there anyone needs to talk about that? Okay, all in favor? Thank you. Councillor Rhodes,
In
you in
favor.
favor? Thank you.
In favor?
Thank you. Okay, that was carried. So, we are now going to,
water rates.
Number 5, bylaws number 5, which we moved up to water matters.
yeah, I know, I've got to look on my list over here. So we're now at water bylaws. The water management services, is that the one?
No,
No.
number 5, water rates, the bottom one.
Sorry, I've got too many papers here. Go, Mr. Zackel, is this you again? Please
Yes,
go
it is.
ahead while I find it.
Okay. So the next bylaw for council's consideration is the Town Water Rates and Regulations Amendment Bylaw 1242.08, 2016. The Town of Osceola operates their town water system under the Water Rates and Regulations Bylaw 1242. Each year, town's bylaws are reviewed, and when changes are required, they are brought forward as amending bylaw to update the content and or fees and charges. Bylaw Amendment 1242.08, 2016 is brought forward for council's consideration. Schedule A has been amended to reflect a $20 increase to water user fees for single-family residents with a 6.37% increase to the other water user fees. The 2016 rate for single-family residents is $334. As a comparison, the town of Oliver's 2016 residential rate is $381. The proposed water rates were discussed at the December 18th, 2015 budget meeting with council direction to bring the bylaw forward. Increase in rates is expected to raise an additional $89,000 in revenues. So the options before council for this bylaw amendment is to option 1 to give first three readings to Water Rates and Regulations Amendment Bylaw 1242.08, 2016. Option 2 to further amend Bylaw 1242.08 and give first three readings, or option 3 to leave Bylaw 1242.07 as is for 2016. And staff's recommendation is option number 1.
Thank you very much. Councillor Ray is moving the adoption of that. Seconder? Councillor Campbell? All in favor? Thank you. That's,
In favor.
thank you. That's carried. Now,
Waste management,
now we're at,
Business waste management.
the first one.
I've got too much on here. Okay. So we are at business. That would be number 1, the financial plan.
No, bylaws.
Which bylaws?
Waste management, service and regulations amendment bylaw.
Sewer regulations. That would be
Move
No, it's
back.
the waste management.
waste. I
Jim's
do
acting
apologize. I've got too many papers here. Okay, waste management, and then we'll go to sewer.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Is this you again, Mr. Zackel?
Yes, I'm up for a
Okay.
little bit here.
Good, that's fine.
This bylaw here for council's consideration is Waste Management Service and Regulations Amendment Bylaw 1309.01, 2016. This is to review and update the Waste Management Service and Regulations Bylaw. The bylaw was established to set regulations for services to collect and dispose of solid waste and recyclable materials within the town of Osceola and for materials accepted at the Osceola Sanitary Landfill. Amendment Bylaw 1309.01 is being brought forward for council's consideration. A few changes are proposed for 2016. As per budget discussions from the December 18th, 2015 budget meeting, the garbage recycling rate is being increased $2.49 to a total of $126.93 for 2016 for single-family residents. The other rate change is increasing the garbage tag rate from $2.25 to $2.30. One housekeeping item is that regular-sized tires without rims are accepted free at the landfill. This is consistent with the landfills in the RDOS, and Schedule A has been amended to reflect this. So implications for the community. Continued effort to for waste diversion at the Osceola Sanitary Landfill to extend the lifespan for residents. Organizational, no changes required. Budget, increased revenues to assist with increase in costs associated with garbage collection and operations and recycling opportunities. Significant dates, the bylaw needs to be adopted prior to the 5-year financial plan being adopted. And under sustainability, continued effort for protecting the environment, a reduction of waste, and financial sustainability. So options before council to give first three readings to Waste Management Service and Regulations Amendment Bylaw 1309.01, 2016. Option 2 to further amend Bylaw 1309.01 and give first three readings. And option 3 to not change Bylaw 1309, 2015 at this time. And staff's recommendation is option number 1.
Thank you very much. I am very pleased to see that the housekeeping item of having tires without rims accepted at the landfill, as this had been a bit of a concern this year. So I thank you very much for having that changed. Is there anybody who has anything to say? Councillor Campbell,
No,
you're
just to
moving
move option
option
number
one. Councillor King is seconding that. Any discussion about this? All in favor? Thank you. You in favor of
favor.
this? Thank you. So that's done. So now we're now on sewer rates. Okay, thank you.
So before council now is the Sewer Rates and Regulations Amendment Bylaw 1065.17, 2016. Town of Oswego operates their sewer system under the town's Sewer Rates and Regulations Bylaw 1065. Each year, the town's bylaws are reviewed. When changes are required, are brought forward as an amending bylaw to update the content and/or fees and charges. Bylaw Amendment 1065-17, 2016 is brought forward for council's consideration. Schedule A and B have been amended to reflect a $6.86 increase to sewer user fees for single-family residents, with a 2.97% increase to the other sewer user fees. The 2016 rate for single-family residents is $237.87 in town and $330.87 in the rural area. The town of Oliver's single-family residential rate in 2016 is $235.90. The proposed sewer rates were discussed at the December 18th budget meeting with council direction to bring the bylaw forward. Increased rates are expected to raise an additional $37,800 in revenues. Funding available for capital projects are $454,065, and this is down slightly from $455,250 that was available in 2015. The 2016 sewer capital projects include main lift station reconstruction, Southeast Meadowlark sewer extension to Fire Hall, Richter subdivision, cell number 3 replacement liner and aeration, and reclaimed water expansion for the test orchard. Under implications for community, improved sewer infrastructure, improved lake water quality. Organizational, no changes required. Budget, increased revenues will assist with sewer capital projects. Significant dates, bylaw needs to be adopted prior to financial plan being adopted. Sustainability, continued effort for protecting the environment, reduction of carbon footprint, and financial sustainability. Options before council to give first three readings to Sewer Rates and Regulations Amendment Bylaw 1065.17, 2016. Option 2 to further amend Bylaw 1065.17 and give first three readings. And Option 3 to leave Bylaw 1065.16 as is for 2016. And staff is recommending, again, option number 1.
Thank you very much.
Recommend option number 1.
Thank you, Councillor King. Councillor Campbell.
Yes.
All in favor?
In favor.
Thank you. That is carried. Can I just say with the water and the sewer bylaws that we have now just given first three readings to, that these are really necessary things for our town. These are important issues that we need to deal with on a yearly basis to make sure that we don't have problems with our lift station, with our with the liners at the test orchard, with all of the capital things that you've seen on here that will go towards making this town a better and safer place in terms of water and sewer. So we felt that these were very good ways of dealing with this, getting a little bit more in from money for this to beef up some of these capital projects rather than just putting it on our tax notice without any kind of an explanation. So that's why we have done this, and we hope that that anybody who has concerns about this will contact us and ask why, and realize that we did spend a whole day looking at all of these things and making sure that we understood them and that it would be for the betterment of the town. Thank you. Yes.
Mayor McCordoff, I am remiss. I had one correcting entry to Schedule A that I did not bring forward for council before the resolution. We've had a change to our bank rates, and this is our sewer rate that we charge for the joint point of entry. And it's it's about a $75 charge change. So I would recommend that we rescind third reading and reread for the third time with the amendment to change the rate to the 67.2506.
And that would be done now, or, yeah,
We would
okay.
do that now.
And I do apologize, you handed me that as well. So can you tell us before we need to rescind the,
I'll move
okay,
to rescind.
thank you. Is it the same people that moved and seconded?
I believe so.
Okay, so is that, Councillor King, you're okay with that? All in favor of rescinding that? Thank you. So can you
In
explain,
favor.
thank you, did you understand that, Councillor Rhodes?
Yes, I did. Thank you.
Okay, so can you explain, why the user rates have been adjusted slightly?
Yes, with the joint point of entry sewer charge, they're charged based on 38 single-family residential units. Also factored into there is the Canada-U.S. conversion rate. Because the dollar has been volatile, the rate has actually changed from when I produced this bylaw to today, and it's worked in the town's favor for about $75. So we have the opportunity to change it right now, and that's why I'm recommending the change.
Okay, absolutely. So could we have a motion to accept the report with the user rate changes?
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
I'll move.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Rhodes. All in favor?
In favor.
That's carried. Thank you for pointing that out. We're now on to revenue anticipation bylaw.
Yeah.
Correct.
For the third time, yes. Yeah. Okay, thank
So
you,
we're
Member
okay?
Corduff. Yeah. So this one here is revenue anticipation borrowing bylaw 1318/2016, and this is for council to renew their line of credit with the Bank of Montreal. Section 177 of Community Charter allows a municipality, by bylaw, to establish a bylaw to provide for the borrowing of money in anticipation of revenue. This bylaw authorizes the municipality to borrow up to $1.5 million to meet current expenditures and pay amounts to meet the municipality's taxing obligations. This line of credit is set up with the Bank of Montreal. If this operating line of credit is used, the revenue from property taxes must be used to repay the money borrowed. In 2015, the town of Osoyoos did not go into their line of credit. Under implications under the community, allows for the operations to continue until funding comes in for taxation. Organizationally, there's no impacts. Budget, there's no impacts. Significant dates, a new bylaw needs to be adopted by February 2016. The sustainability is fiscal management. So the options before council to give first three readings to revenue anticipation borrowing bylaw 1318/2016. Option 2 to not give first readings to this bylaw, and staff recommendation is option number 1.
Thank you. And it needs to be pointed out that the town of Osoyoos did not need this line of credit. As a matter of fact, I don't think that we've ever used it that I know of, but it is there just in case, so we have that set up. Could we have a motion, please, to accept this? Thank you, Councillor Campo. Councillor Rhodes, you okay with this, seconding the motion?
I am.
Thank you. All in favor? Thank you, that's
In
carried.
favor.
Thank you. So we are now on to business one. Okay, I'm finally, well, I've got too many pages here. That's my problem, plus it on here. Thank you. Business one is items requiring council direction, and that would be the financial plan. Mr. Zackel.
Thank you, Mayor McCordoff. So at the January 18th, 2016 public open meeting of council, a number of submissions were heard by council. In addition, 2 capital projects have slightly changed and require additional funding to proceed. To move the financial plan forward, direction regarding these financial requests is required. And we'll have a total of 5 that we'll be requesting council's direction on. We'll start off with the first one, and that's the 68th Avenue Road reconstruction. $164,000 was budgeted in 2020 for a project to be completed. A number of presentations were made on this project requesting that this project be moved up for safety concerns, parking issues, and sidewalks. Currently, the town has 6 options for completing this project. The budget amount reflected in option 4 which was a right-in, right-out with angle parking. The exact option has not been finalized, and Ministry of Transportation needs to be consulted for their approval on the final option. Council may move this project forward if they wish. Funding for this project could come from 2 remaining options: borrowing, which requires elector approval, or reserve funds. So the options before council for this project is option 1, to keep the project in 2020, option 2, to move the project forward to 2016, option 3, to budget for consultation in 2016 and construction in 2017, and option 4, to remove the project from the financial plan. Option 3 is being recommended because we have a ambitious capital program for 2016 planned, and we don't know how long it'll take to receive Ministry of Transportation approval.
Thank you very much. Councillor Campbell?
Mr. Zackel, if we were to use the reserve funds, where would that leave us as far as the state of that particular reserve fund? Would we still be in a healthy situation?
We would be in the exact situation we were prior to this. It was being funded through reserve operating and reserve funds in 2020. It's just a matter of when the funds would be being used.
Okay. Thank you.
So, Councillor King, would you like to make a motion? Or?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I'd like to option number 3.
Thank you. Is there a seconder for that? I can second that. Did you want to speak to it?
No, I think it's great after having some people in our community come forward and understanding that this particular project's kind of been on the books for a little while. I really support moving this project forward.
We did have several people at the open budget meeting that we held on the 18th that were in favor of moving this forward. It's it would just continue on the same 68th Avenue. And I do think that this is the best solution to it, to begin the consultation part of it in 2016 in order to get MOT approval, because it goes out to the highway, and then look at construction for this in 2017. So I'm happy to support this. Are we ready to take a vote on this? Councillor Rhodes, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay. All in favor of option number 3?
I'm in favor.
Okay. Thank you very much. That's carried.
Thank you. The second item is the Osseous Lake Water Quality Society. Presentation was made by the Osseous Water Lake Quality Society looking for financial assistance towards their Lake Appreciation Day, $3,126, and assistance with their operational costs of $5,000, as they are wanting to establish a contingency reserve fund for a motor and boat. My apologies. The options for council: Lake Appreciation Day, $3,126, could be funded through the RMI funding for activity enhancement. Option number 2, fund the $5,000 for operational costs to assist with setting up a contingency reserve fund. Option 3, request Osseous Lake Water Quality Society to make a grant and aid request for a spare motor. And option number 4, do not provide any financial assistance. Staff is recommending options number 1 and 3 to make the best use of funding sources and to support a grant and aid policy to avoid paying for operational costs. So basically, by having them request for a specific motor rather than assisting with their operational costs would probably be the best approach on that.
Thank you very much. Anybody? Councillor Campbell?
I'll make that motion.
Go ahead, CJ.
I'm sorry, CJ. I'm sorry, Councillor Rhodes. Please go ahead.
Sorry to jump in. I just would like an opportunity to make that motion based on options 1 and 3.
Thank you very much. Is there a seconder for that? Councillor Campbell. Councillor Rhodes, did you want to speak to that?
I don't have much to say. I would like to ask a question about the grant and aid request option number 3. I believe that they did that some time ago. Do we have anything in our grant and aid policy that would restrict them from reapplying again for the same item?
I think their last grant and aid application was actually for the boat, if I recall, and there's nothing that precludes them from making an application on another project.
And
Okay, good. Well, then I'd be speaking in favor of that motion that I made then.
thank you. I just think that this is a really good society in our town, made up of, again, volunteers, and I think that it's so important for us to pay attention to the Osoyoos Lake, the water quality, and the sustainability of keeping that lake. And there is a Lake Appreciation Day on May the 21st that the Osoyoos Lake Water Quality Society has organized, and I think more power to them to go ahead with this and try and get people out and involved in saving our lake and looking after it and using best practices when it comes to fishing and motors and boats and zebra quagga mussels possibilities and all of those things. So I'm very much in favor of this. So we have a motion on the floor to accept numbers 1 and number 3 and to support the grant and aid and the funding sources. So all in favor? Thank you. And we've included you.
In favor.
Thank you. So that's that one. Thank you. We're on to the next one.
Thank you.
Cactus Jalopies.
Yes, so the next one for council's consideration was Cactus Jalopies. A presentation was made for financial assistance with their motorcycle extreme jumping and stunt riding show of $5,000. This event is in its 11th year in Osoyoos. Options before council: motorcycle extreme jumping and stunt riding show of $5,000, funded through RMI. Funding for activity enhancement. 2, do not fund or do not provide any financial assistance. Staff's recommendation is option number 1 is supported because this event has a support of Destination Osoyoos and the activity contributes to the success of the event.
Thank you very much. And we've supported this before. So, Councillor Campbell?
I'll move option number 1.
Thank you. And
I'll
Councillor...
second.
Thank you. Councillor Rhodes? All in favor? Thank you very
In
much.
favor.
Okay.
The next item before council is computer equipment. This capital budget was set at $26,550, and an additional $5,000 is being requested to complete the Time Off Manager program to allow for all employees to utilize the system as well as have their town email addresses. Right now, I believe it's the Sunbowl Arena and the Public Works that do not have all the staff on with their own Town of Osoyoos email address. So we're trying to get this all onto one system, one leave system, and that's what this request is for. So the options before council: option 1, to adjust the 2016 capital budget for computer equipment to $31,550. Option number 2, to defer the additional $5,000 to the 2017 budget. Option 3, to not approve the additional funding request.
Thank you. My understanding is that this program has just happened, or the increase, the request for it has just happened in the last month, because it was not, this particular part of it was not talked about when we had our budget meetings in the middle of December. So, do we, yes.
I'll make a motion to accept option number 1.
Councillor Rhodes, are you in favor of this? Would you like to second the motion, or do you know about it?
I'm looking at the recommendation, and I am in favor of the increase, yes.
Thank you. All in favor? Thank you very much. That's carried. The next one's electronics records management, and this is obviously another one that has come up in the last month.
Yes, so the electronics record management, the capital budget was set at $15,000, and an additional $5,000 is being requested to allow for the remaining planning and development files to be digitalized. Apparently, just this last month, they finalized the final number of documents that they need to get done, and that was not included in the budget requisition. So the options before council: to adjust the 2016 capital budget for electronics record management to 20,000. Option 2, to defer the additional 5,000 to 2017. And option 3, to not approve the additional funding request.
Thank you. If this is moved forward and this is done, would this be the last time we would need it? All electronic records would then be moved?
I believe this takes care of all of planning and development services now. So all the building files would all be all digitalized.
So this would not need to come back to council next year. In other words, this would be the final leg of that. Is that correct, Mr. Romanko? Do you know?
Actually, I'm not sure. My sense is that we're still going to have to do some more building permit work. Well, there's a lot to be done in that particular area.
Okay.
But my sense is that we still have some more work to do in this area.
Okay, so this is just for 2016. Anybody like to make a motion about this?
Yeah, I'll make a motion. Option 1, to adjust the capital budget.
Option 1, do we have a seconder for that?
I'll second.
Thank you, Councillor Rhodes. Anybody need any more information? Thank you. All in favor? Thank you very much.
Favor.
Thank you.
Okay, so the other presentations that were made at this public budget meeting was Miss Ingrid Jarrett of Watermark Resort. Miss Jarrett was informed that the current budget has identified $6,000 for Main Street amenity improvements. Mr. Glenn Harris, Airport Development Society. Mr. Harris was informed that the current budget has identified $35,000 to develop a business case for repurposing the airstrip for industrial lots. Mr. Ken Murray, citizen. Mr. Murray's recommendations for traffic control devices will be forwarded to Ministry of Transportation for comments and then taken to the Traffic Safety Committee. And Mr. David Perudoff, Mr. Perudoff will be contacted in an effort to seek greater clarity on his proposal for affordable housing development. And that's the end of that report.
Thank you. Can I was just thinking, when we've added a couple of things on here, possibly some extras, how would that affect the budget as we have, looked at it at our last meeting? What would we be finding extra money somewhere else to do some of these, or how would we deal with that?
We would maintain the tax increases, rate increases, everything that's already been discussed with council and council's recommendations. So these minor amendments will not affect the bottom line on the budget.
So the budget was, and it was publicized that we had agreed to, at this point, before it's passed, a 1.97. So it would stay at that. None of these would make the budget go up.
That's
Thank
correct.
you. Okay, so these have all been dealt with. So we will move on to council. You don't need anything more for that one, Brianne? Okay. Council remuneration and expense paid report.
Yes, to report on council's remuneration and expenses paid for the period of December 2014 to November 2015 as per Bylaw 948. Section 168 of the Community Charter states that at least once a year, the council must have prepared a report separately listing the following of each council's member by name: the total amount of remuneration paid to the council member for the discharge of office, including any amount specified as an expense allowance, the total amount of expenses payments for the council member made to the council member as a reimbursement for expenses incurred by the council member or as an allowance that is not reported under the first paragraph, the total amount of any benefits, including insurance policies, policies for medical or dental services provided to the council member or the member's dependents, and any contracts reported under Section 107, disclosure of contracts with council members and former council members, including a general description of their nature, implications, adherence to Bylaw 948, organizationally and budget, there's nothing to report, significant dates to be done once a year, sustainability, completing required processes of the municipality, and options before council. Option 1, to receive the information. And the recommendation is to receive the attached council remuneration and expense paid report for the period December 1st, 2014 to November 30th, 2015.
Thank you very much. And there is a copy of this. Mrs. Hilson, could you put that up on the, just so that everybody can see this, the copy of the remuneration, the expenses paid, and the benefits paid. And that is accepted for information, right? Good. Thank you. And you will notice that some of the people that are on there were from last council. So that Councillor Plant, Councillor Ryan, and Mayor Wells were on there because it went to December 1st, 2014, and they would have been still on council to then. Okay? Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Zackel. Yeah. We need a motion to receive?
So
okay.
moved.
Thank you. King Campbell, that we receive that. Thank you. Next is the high school presentation at a committee of the whole meeting. Mr. Remenko, or is it Mrs. Hilson?
It's me.
Okay.
So, the council procedure bylaw 1271 2010, Part 9, Section 86 states that recordings, video, audio, or both of council or committee meetings are prohibited unless permitted by a resolution of council passed by a majority of those attending the meeting. Mayor and council have received a request from Peter Gaida, a teacher at Osuz Secondary School, to bring a delegation of students to the February 15th Committee of the Whole meeting to speak to council about the recent selection as a semi-finalist in the Samsung Solve for Tomorrow contest related to water use in the community. The students are requesting that they be allowed to videotape the presentation for possible inclusion in their submission for the contest. As per the Council Procedure Bylaw 1271-2010, they are required to have a resolution of council prior to recording the presentation. Implications, community, working with the students at Osuz Secondary for their Samsung Solve for Tomorrow. Organizational, none. Budget, none. Significant date, the February 15th Committee of the Whole meeting. Sustainability, none. Options, council passed a resolution to allow the students of Osuz Secondary School to videotape their presentation to council at the February 15th Committee of the Whole meeting for their Samsung Solve for Tomorrow contest. Or council does not pass a resolution allowing the students of Osuz Secondary School to videotape their presentation. Recommendation, option 1 is recommended that council pass a resolution to allow the students of Osuz Secondary to videotape their presentation at the February 15th Committee of the Whole meeting.
Thank you very much. Councillor Campbell.
As I think this one's a fairly easy decision, and considering the time delay in Arizona, I thought maybe Councillor Rhodes would want the opportunity to make this motion.
I will make that motion, and thank you for that.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you very much. I think that this is a wonderful project that the students have taken on with the help of their teacher, Mr. Gaida, and for them to be accepted. I believe there were something like, I can't remember, 800 originally, and they're one of 55 in the country that have been chosen to do this, and a very timely project. About something to do with water, and in the town, and I think that it's great. So I'm all in favor of this, and so all of council will have to make sure that we brush our teeth and dress appropriately if we're going to be on camera, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so the motion is been that we accept option 1. All in favor? Thank you.
In favor.
Thank you very much. Okay, thank you. And you'll let Mr. Gaida know?
Yes.
Thank you. Next is pre-budget approvals. Am I correct? Are we
Yeah.
that one?
That's right. I
Thank
think,
you. Mr. Remenko?
Councillor Rhodes, one of the items you've been reclusing yourself from voting on them. So we're going gonna mute you for a little while, if that's okay.
Yes, I'd like to recuse myself for that one item on this matter. Yes.
Okay, so we'll be seeking separate motions on each one of the items.
Okay, thank you. So, Councillor Rhodes is not part of the meeting at the moment.
Okay, so
Go ahead, Mr. Knight.
pre-budget approvals. Council has reviewed and agreed in principle to the 2016 operating and capital budgets. Some projects have been identified as capital as priority projects for implementation. Certain projects in the 2016 capital budget have been identified as council priority projects that will be approved when the final budget is approved. Some of these projects require early approval if tendering timelines are to be achieved to enable timely implementation of the project. Listed below are projects the administration is seeking pre-budget approval and the rationale of that request. The first one, 74th Avenue reconstruction, 85th to Main Street. This project is budgeted for $341,000, and pre-budget approval is being sought to enable early tendering and allow for completion of the project prior to May 31st, 2016. So we'll be looking for a motion to for approval for pre-budget approval on 74th Avenue reconstruction.
Thank you, Councillor Campbell. Councillor King. All in favor? Thank you. This is being done to continue 74th Avenue. There are 3 streets involved in this.
You're back.
I'm here. Thank you.
The first one would be the one that's partly done now, and then there's the second section, and this would be the third. So that would complete that, and it has been. We've already sort of talked about this at some length, and so it would just be a continuation of this project. The second one is the Gyro Park to Starlight Water Main.
Yes, the second one, Gyro Park to Starlight Water Main. This project was budgeted for $305,000, and pre-budget approval is being sought to enable early tendering and awards that work can commence when lake water levels are at the lowest.
And this is another one that it was talked about at our budget meetings, and I believe it's a necessary water main upgrade, and it's going under the bridge. Am I correct?
It's actually they're actually drilling under the river stream, and it's a secondary. It's another primary source line that will be connecting to our system, so that right now we have one water line that is on the bridge, and this one is being placed under the underground, under the riverbed.
One of the other items, water and sewer, that are needing upgrades, and why we have this, we had this in our budget. So could we have a motion to accept this, please? Thank you.
I'll move that.
Thank you, Councillor Rhodes, and Councillor King seconded. All in favor? Thank you.
In favor.
And the third one?
The third one is the retaining wall at Lions Beach and pedestrian access, that's Spartan to Gyro Park. These projects are budgeted at $40,000 and $31,000 respectively. These 2 projects are being tendered together to seek out better costing, and the retaining wall project needs to be completed in spring prior to lake levels rising.
Thank you very much. And that's been something that we've had on the books for a while, and we've had several people asking when this was going to be done. So do we have a motion to accept this one as well? Councillor Campbell, Councillor King, all in favor. Are you all right with this, Councillor Rhodes? Thank you. So that's
Makes perfect economic sense.
okay. He said yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Economic sense.
Oh, okay. Thank you. So is that's completed that one?
That would be
Good.
that one, yeah.
Okay. So we're now on to the proposed travel rebate incentive program, which came from this morning.
So yes, this morning Cam Bissonette from the Duty Free Store talked to Council during the Committee of the Whole meeting, and Mr. Bissonnette was looking for a letter of support from council for a national initiative for a visitor rebate program on the federal GST. Council was informed that this program was done many years ago, and the duty-free stores are seeking to bring it back again. The program would enable duty-free stores to rebate GST on goods purchased in Canada and then taken back to the U.S. The goal of the program is to increase purchases in Canada, not only at the duty-free stores, but also as an incentive, for example, in border communities like ours, where visitors doing land travel back to the States would shop locally here and be eligible for a GST rebate at the duty-free store. So a sample letter was provided, and he was looking for a motion from council or a letter of support from council.
I'm thinking that if we did, we were going to make it a slightly shorter letter. Councillor Campbell.
I'd like to move to direct administration to write a letter of support, not utilizing the template that was given.
We felt that it would be better to have a one-page a letter, that it would be looked at a little bit more favorably. This used to happen in many years ago, that people could go in and get their tax rebate on it. We asked about people going to other countries, and it was at this point the idea was just in land crossings. It's too difficult to deal with at airports. So we did talk about this morning at Cal. So, Councillor. All right, thank you very much. So that is moved by Councillor Campbell, seconded by Councillor Rhodes, that a letter be written in support of this. Correct? All in favor? All in favor? Thank you very much. Yep, okay. And the next item is the ice and snow policy, Public Works 0110. Mr. Romanko.
The existing snow and ice control policy, Public Works 10, fails to prioritize the plowing of the airport or identify timelines with regard to the removal of snow piles in downtown area. The following proposed updates will address these deficiencies in the existing policy. Under the scope of snow and ice control services of the existing policy, the following modifications are proposed. 1. Add the following text to point 1 under the scope of snow and ice control services. It is proposed that the plowing of snow from the airport runway occur after the clearing of town parking lots in the list of priority snow removal locations. Therefore, the list of snow removal priority locations would be as follows. 1. Emergency vehicle access, egress routes. 2. Schools during school days. 3. Downtown areas. 4. Inclines. 5. Town parking lots. 6. Airport. 7. Churches. After the end of the snowfall event, the Director of Operations will contact NAV Canada and provide them with a runway service condition report. Prior to snow removal operations commencing at the airport, the Director of Operations will once again contact NAV Canada and request that they issue a notice to airmen, NOTAM, informing them that the time period during which the snow removal operations will be occurring. Item number 2, add the following new point to number 6 under scope of snow and ice control services. Snow clearing and removal from downtown area parking stalls. After all other snow clearing operations have been completed, and then town forces will be deployed to deploy snow from the on-street parking spaces in downtown area. Snow will be plowed into several empty parking stalls, where it will be removed within 72 hours of placement. This activity will occur at the discretion of the Director of Operations or his designate, who will consider ease of travel, resources availability, and safety of pedestrian and vehicular traffic in the downtown area before undertaking this activity. 3. The remaining snow clearing activities in the existing policy 10 will appropriately be renumbered and Schedule A modified to include snow removal at the airport. Also, since the equipment utilized by the town to clear snow and ice is continually evolving, it is suggested that it not be specified in the list of policy. So the options before council is 1, that council approve the suggested updates to the snow and ice control policy. 2, the council does not approve recommended updates to the policy. 3, council requests additional information prior to making a decision. And the administration recommends option 1 of approval of the policy.
Thank you. And we did talk about this morning at the COW meeting, and that's we're just bringing it back at this meeting. So could we have a
motion? Option 1.
Thank you, Councillor King. Councillor Campo, all in favor. Thank you very much. Thank you, Councillor Rhodes. So do we have notice of motion? No. General net payroll and Sun Bowl accounts. Here we are. And this is done by Janice Steen, who are our payroll clerk, but she has retired on the 31st of January. And Kathy Fichter has taken over for her, but we will see Janice here quite often as she's going to come in and do relief work for us. So thank you, Janice. To report on the expenditures from accounts payable for council approval and payroll information for council to receive. General Sun Bowl Arena cash requirements and net payroll accounts to February the 1st, 2016 representing balances in the following funds in the amount of general cash requirements $275,793.74, Sun Bowl cash requirements of $182.81, and net payroll accounts at $136,124.84. So the general accounts and the arena accounts will be adopted by consensus, and the payroll accounts will be received for information. Thank you. Committee reports. The CAO, Mr. Remenko.
Thank you, Mayor McCordoff. Just a few of the activities the administration has been involved in over the last couple of weeks, starting first in community services, where our children's programs, the registration for this session is a little lower than previous sessions. However, we do have some new program ideas that are attracting a lot of interest and, in fact, have wait lists. In terms of adult programming, the new evening adult fitness programs are going well. And the Adult Volleyball League has increased from 8 to 9 teams, from the usual 8 to 9 teams to 12 teams. In terms of BC Family Day, which will be Monday, February 8th, there will be a free skate at the Sun Bowl Arena from 12 to noon to 2, and they're applying for a grant from the BCRPA to offset the costs of this. The Community Services Grant Program has been advertised to the local paper and e-news, and the deadline is February 26th at noon, and all the information is on the town's website. We've had, in terms of corporate services, Council's had a lot of discussion about our Victim Services Program. So Corporate Services has been completing the funding application, has also developed a letter to the province, and has had discussions with Sergeant Bosch and the Desert Sun Counseling. Lots of HR, human resources activity happening through a number of internal competitions. So posted, interviewed, and hired for relief clerk. Janice Steen was the successful applicant. And yes, congratulations to Janice after almost 17 years with the town, and we will enjoy having her back working on a casual basis. Posted, interviewed, and hired for the corporate services admin support. Tammy Derbyshire, successful applicant. Posted, interviewed, and hired planning and community development secretary. Debbie Gagne was the successful applicant. And then posted, interviewed, and hired the payroll accounting clerk. Kathy Finchner was the successful applicant. The Transit, we've been doing some review of the proposed governance committee policy and guidelines. In terms of finance, Kathy Finchner is in the process of being trained for her new payroll accounting position, and as you well from today's meeting can recognize that our Director of Finance has been busy doing reports and budgets and final reports for Council. In Public Works, Water Station 8 electrical upgrades project is still on the go. Their Operational Services has placed a tender for the 2016 backhoe purchase on BC bid, and the completed building maintenance of Pump House number 6. In terms of myself and many others in the organization, last week we were subjected to some computer training, and so we can make better uses of our computer resources available to us. And I've also been communicating and working on an article. Osoyoos was chosen by the Local Government Management Association to provide an article for their Our Town section. So that'll be coming out in the spring edition of the Local Government magazine. And I continue to work on the Destination Osoyoos agreements. So that's my report for today.
Thank you, Mr. Romanko. And could we have a motion to see? Thank you very much. That would be Councillor Campbell, Councillor King. All in favor? Councillor Rhodes, you're in favor? Thank you.
In favor.
So now we're on to councillor reports. And first up is Councillor Youngberg, and she is on vacation, so she will be back for our next meeting. And next is Councillor Rhodes. Do you have a report for us, Councillor Rhodes?
Don't even think about reporting on the weather.
Okay, I'll step right by that. Thank you, Mayor McCordoff. I would like to make a comment about another achievement in our community by J.F. Longier from J.F. Customs. Yesterday, he won 2 awards at a SEMA conference, and it's actually a very prestigious car show, and he has his latest version in there, 1967 Acadian. It has a fairly large amount of custom work to it. I don't know whether you've seen any of the pictures or not, but once again, it's an amazing work of art, as I like to refer to it. Won best of class and best street machine at this. And, you know, when you're involved in the custom car world, like JF is, on a scale of 1 to 10, these are about a 10 in prestige. This man and his team of workers on these cars are just accomplishing things that are just almost precedent-setting. And everywhere he goes, he always tells everyone he's from Osoyoos, followed by a long explanation about where it is and about the name and that kind of thing. But he's a huge ambassador for our community, and I wanted to kind of shout out about this recent accomplishment of his. In addition to that, thank you very much to Mayor McCordoff and my fellow councillors and the staff that are there today. This is my second imposition today for phoning in. It's often hard enough to keep it organized, other than, people like me, when you phone in, you always have that phone thing. It's full of interruptions. So thank you very much for your patience. One of the ways that we get recognition when we're sitting in a council meeting is by waving our hand and getting recognized by the mayor so that we can speak and rant about the many issues that we're dealing with. And I just wanted the mayor and councilors to know that I have been practicing one-arm push-ups every day. So when I get back, it'll be waving profusely.
Thank you very much, Councillor Rhodes, and we appreciate the fact that you've taken time out from your busy schedule today of sitting on the beach and enjoying some beverages with your neighbors to take part in the council minutes. And we do appreciate your input every time. And I'm sorry I couldn't see your hand waving, but I'll practice looking to my right when you get back. So thank you, Councillor Rhodes. Thank you. Councillor Campbell, you're next.
Thank you, Mayor McCordoff. Just a few things. As I'm sure everybody's aware, there was a vandalism situation at the Gyro Beach washrooms. That situation is now being dealt with through Crime Stoppers. So if anybody out there knows something, has seen something, or does see anything moving forward, please let the authorities know, and let's show our community pride and stand together against this kind of nonsense. Secondly, I just wanted to congratulate 3 local businesses here that received awards through the Chamber the other day. And one was Bylaw Foods, won the award for Large Business of the Year. Soyuz Home Hardware won an award for Customer Service Excellence. And Joanne Muirhead of JoJo's won an award for Entrepreneur of the Year. So congratulations to all 3 of those businesses. Lastly, just regarding the potential school closure, I just want to encourage the public to attend the meeting on February 9th at the secondary school at 7 p.m., as this is an issue that affects all of us, and as I've said before, this shouldn't just be a concern to families with young children. There's certainly an economic trickle-down effect that affects the entire private sector and services. So please get involved. There is a petition on change.org that you can sign on to, and a Facebook page called Save Our Schools where you can engage in the conversation. So again, I just encourage everybody to get involved and let your voice be heard. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And there, you can also, on our counter out front, sign a petition. So there are many places in town as well. So thank you for that. Councillor King.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor McCordoff. I guess going next to the last councillor, it's kind of repetitive, but I really want to congratulate the 3 businesses in our town that received the awards at the South Okanagan Chamber Business Excellence Awards. And again, I want to mention JoJo's for small business, Bylaw for large business, and Home Hardware for customer service. And also for the people out there, the concerned citizens, I hope to see you all February 9th up at the high school to save our schools.
Thank you very much, Councillor King. So I was also at the Chamber of Commerce Business Awards the other night, and you know, I knew that Councillor King and Councillor Campbell were going to go, and I thought, gee, I've got so many other things on. And when I looked at the number of Vesuvius businesses that were being considered for awards, and it wasn't just the 3 of them that won, that there were several other local businesses that were involved in this, and I thought, no, this is important. So I was very glad that I had gone, and congratulations to all of the businesses. To be nominated for an award like this is pretty amazing, that your peers nominate you, and I think that's great. So I enjoyed that. I was also on Friday at a kindness lunch, and that was put on by the school, the elementary school, and they have a sort of a month of looking at all the ways that they can do something kind for somebody else. And when they do, or when somebody else notices it, they send it down to the office on a slip of paper, and they make it into a chain, and the chain of all of these things was spread all over the gym at the Sonora Center. And the parent advisory group put on a luncheon, and they did a little flash mob as well, and it was all taped, and it was a very nice event, and it just shows that the school and the teachers all got involved in doing this. And I think that they really showed that being kind to one another is a great way to show respect and to make other people smile, and then eventually that makes you smile as well. So well done to the elementary school staff and students for doing that. I was also at the South Okanagan Amateur Players play that they put on. I think, is it Noises On or Noises Off? I always get them mixed up. I think one was Noises On, one was Noises Off. It was extremely well done. And it was quite a long event. They did it in Oliver only, not at the Vesuvius Theatre, because of the set. The set was quite large, and it needed adjusting 3 times, and I think they decided that it couldn't possibly be moved and set up down here. Well done to SOAP They are a great organization, and there are lots of local people, local residents from Osoyoos and Oliver that get involved in this. So thank you very much. Another great performance. I was also at the Okanagan Correction Center last week for a meeting. I've been there 3 times so far since becoming the mayor, and I'm always so impressed with what's going on up there. The facility should be open by September, October of this year. They are on time, on budget, and they have up to 275 people working there at peak times. They're using a lot of local businesses and local contractors, which is great, and there have been absolutely no accidents. So that's a good thing. They're being very careful about it. It's going to be a really interesting facility when it's opened, and Mayor Hovanes and Mayor Jacobite from Penticton and I were at the meeting, and we have certainly supported having an open house at the facility for the public before anybody moves in there. And also we have asked to have a public town hall meeting in each town, just to have things explained, what's going on, what the safety features are, how it's being done, how people can find out more about it. So that will be set up in the next months, maybe June or July. There will be a town hall meeting about it where anybody who wants to can come and ask questions and find out more about it. So I think that's all. Oh, and I just want to reiterate, please come out, support the town on February the 9th. We anticipate a large crowd out there. Please come, listen, pay attention, do your homework, and see how you can support your community. Thank you very much, everyone. Could we have a motion to adjourn? Thank you. Councillor Campbell, Councillor King, all in favor. Thank you very much. Thank you, Councillor Rhodes. Thanks, Val.